good to have you back on the program. First off, your read on Toyota's earnings.
Well, I think what we see now is they've recovered ahead of schedule. They're recovering lost sales from the supply chain disruptions that they had as a result of the earthquake and tsunami. I think what you're seeing, though, structurally, they have many challenges ahead. In particular, the domestic market is very unprofitable. The Japanese market for all the Japanese automakers is their weakest place right now. Europe is unprofitable. Asia ex Japan is actually their most profitable regions, but because of the supply chain disruptions, they've had a weakening revenue side so far this year. They're hoping for recovery in the second half.
They're hoping for a lot of recovery. In fact, their forecast really beating the streets, and hence there's a lot of enthusiasm for Toyota at this point. Do you share the same amount of enthusiasm for Toyota, Bill?
Well, first of all, give credit where it's due. They've recovered ahead of schedule. I think having the supply chain back is a good thing, but the challenges are very significant. They've lost a lot of market share, in particular here in China, which is a very profitable market for them. Hyundai has been very aggressive in going after the lost sales and taking market share. So is Nissan. Nissan did not experience the same level of disruption, and because of their higher level of flexibility in their supply chain here in China, and that's actually going to be very hard for Toyota and Honda both to recover, because now those sales are gone, and in the future you have to be very aggressive to win back market share, and you need to do that with either exciting new products or with some form of incentive to keep people in your showrooms.
And well, does Toyota have that right now?
Well, their big hope in the second half, and I think a lot of their numbers depend on this, so there's a couple things they're hoping for. One is a more stable foreign exchange development. It's been very weak for the Japanese. The strength of the Japanese yen has absolutely taken a hit on their profitability. But in the second half, they do have a new Camry, which is the top-selling vehicle in the United States, that is launching, and they're hoping, and they're very optimistic about the prospects for that vehicle in the second half of this year.
All right. Well, you talked about Hyundai, Nissan stepping in to fill up the void, I guess, a loss with the March earthquake.
Yeah.
That echoes what's pretty much happened in the U.S. because we had Hyundai sales rising once again. In fact, another blowout month for Hyundai and Kia, and then Nissan's also catching up as well. How would you characterize the U.S. right now for all the automakers? Who's winning, who's losing?
Well, it's a hyper-competitive environment. You've got, if on the buyer side, if there are people shopping for a car, you're going to find very good deals in the market. The challenge is you've got very aggressive competitors, in particular companies like Hyundai, who've been very creative about how to approach not just the United States market, but virtually every market they're competing in. They saw the opportunity of a weakened supply chain on their competitors. They went very aggressively into stepped-up production, and their price point is more attractive for consumers in most markets.
Yeah, but it seems that there's more of a level playing field, considering you take a look at the foreign exchange, right? The yuan is strengthening as well. The yen, we know, meteoric level. So could this be maybe a good thing for the U.S., considering you're dealing in U.S. dollars, which is the weakest of the bunch?
Well, I think it certainly is. There is opportunity for the U.S. brands and companies to regain some lost market share in this environment. I think going forward, it's going to get more challenging as particularly companies like Toyota refresh their already very successful products in the markets.
Okay, one more question for you, Bill. I'm going to talk about cars themselves and stray away from the car makers because people get excited about new models, new cars. In your opinion, what model are you most excited about, and who makes it?
Well, I live here in Beijing, and I think everyone's buzzing about the performance of the European luxury brands. They've done very well here in China, in particular BMW and their performance in the 5 Series extended wheelbase. But I think what I'm seeing even more in this market is a trend toward crossover vehicles, smaller sport utilities and crossover vehicles, which are becoming very popular in China.